Holla holla, Claudina9 here, and in celebration of Monster High's 10-year anniversary, I will be showing y'all my $10,000 Monster High collection. I'll be going over which Monster High dolls are most valuable, how I lost almost half of my dolls in 2016, and counting every Monster High doll I own. So if you want to find out why I'm so obsessed with Monster High, keep on watching. Before we start today's video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and turn on notifications so you never miss the doll tea. Now, let's dive in. Monster High is a fashion doll franchise created by Mattel and launched in July 2010. The characters are the sons and daughters of legendary monsters like Frankenstein, Dracula, Medusa, and the Mummy. The doll line was a massive success for Mattel during the scene trend of the early 2000s and cost about $20 each. So I've been collecting Monster High since I'm 10 years old, a lot of 10s in this video, and I've uploaded a lot of Monster High collection videos in the past, which y'all can check out. As we can see, my collection has changed quite a bit since then because in 2016, my house flooded, which led to us having to get rid of a lot of my dolls. And the insurance adjuster told us that we had to throw them away and they would reimburse us for all of the dolls. The day came where they were sending out the check and they said, well, we can't verify the price of these dolls, so you're just gonna have to take it off as a business loss on taxes. I basically lost 75% of my dolls, and I had to sell a lot of them just to make up money from the flood. Here we are now, and now I have recollected $10,000 worth of Monster High dolls. This is a very special doll in my collection. Mattel sent this to me, and the creator of Monster High, Garrett Sander, signed it. It says we're gonna say Claudina because that's the name that we go by. To Claudina, stay scary, XXX Garrett Sander. My favorite collection would probably be Dawn of the Dance. I just really think that these 80s prom themes are beautiful, and I think that the quality on these dolls is superb. Like, Cleo's shoes are everything. Dawn of the Dance is definitely one of those lines where you can look at them, and despite all the looks being so different, you're like, oh, these definitely go together. People's reaction when they see my dolls are kind of like hit or miss. It really depends. I have a lot of doll collector friends, so obviously my doll collector friends are gagged. They love seeing the really extensive collection of dolls that I have in my living room here. People who are non-doll collectors, some of them think it's cool and they totally get it. I have had some people think it's creepy and they're kind of like, well, don't you feel weird having these dolls like staring at you all the time? And my answer is no. Another really cool doll in my collection is my first wave Frankie. She was sold to me by a friend who just got out of Monster High. She did not realize that her Frankie was a factory error because this Frankie actually has no eyelashes. Not to be mistaken for my most valuable doll. I will tell you my most valuable doll later in this video. But the doll I probably paid the most for was this Comic-Con Ghoulia, who was about $250, maybe $300. A doll I regret buying or overpaid for are the Fierce Rockers 2-pack. I paid about $140 for them, but then found someone selling them for $80 the next day. I also collect various Monster High paraphernalia, like the vinyls and Funkos. The Fortune Skulls from 2010 were a must. I even got these Gloom Beach Frankie sunglasses from Walmart, which don't fit my head. What I've been doing recently to really amp up my doll collection is I have these acrylic placards that I display the name of the line in, and I put the date that the line came out and then the logo of the doll line. It kind of resembles what I would see at Comic-Con. I never had the privilege of attending Comic-Con myself, so now I decided to just kind of create my own Monster High museum at home, and I feel like this just makes it look more adult. So I've left a link down in the description for these placards below if you'd like to try purchasing some yourself. They definitely amp up a collection. I also have some custom dolls. This is a custom, rerouted, and slightly repainted Frankenstein by Monster Cool Kitty. One of my favorite parts of my collection is this Monster High store display from Target 2014. So listen, I've actually had 2 of these displays, and during the flood in 2016, I lost the first display and I was so devastated because it's a store display. Like, you can't just come across those. And then someone listed one on eBay. It was like $600, which really isn't that bad for a store display, y'all. Like, you can't just buy a store display. So I took some of my YouTube check and I got the store display. I took out all the dolls that were initially in the display and replaced it with all of the first wave dolls. Probably like my most valuable piece in my collection because again, it's not something you can just buy. Now we are in my makeup room where I have displayed all of my out-of-box dolls. This is the room where we have all the neon LED lights where I typically film. And as many of you may know, I have my LOL OMGs displayed here normally, but for today's video, I have placed all of my Monster High dolls that are out of the box in this room so we can showcase a majority of my collection. I don't have a lot of the out-of-box dolls anymore. Most of my dolls are now in-box, but I continued collecting some of my favorite lines. So School's Out is definitely one of my favorite lines, or Wave 2. I feel like the designs flow really well together. Spectra and Abby were so innovative for the doll industry. Spectra having those clear limbs I thought was just so cool growing up. Haunted is another one of my favorite lines. I just feel like this line is so cohesive. The pastels are so beautiful. Over here I have the sunglasses, which I was sent in the PR kit, and then I actually gifted my Zombie Gaga that I got from PR to one of my friends for Christmas, and I thought, okay, well, like, I'll just buy another one down the line. And then I waited and waited until she was worth $200, and now I had to pay $200 to get a new one, but I don't mind because I am a Gaga stan. Stream Chromatica. I've also displayed some dolls randomly, so down here I have the Brand Boo Students. So my favorite movie from Monster High is 13 Wishes. They are not my favorite doll line, although I do love Haunt the Casbah. My personal favorite is Twyla. Twyla is actually one of my favorite Monster High characters. I just love her kind of like reserved, dry, sarcastic type personality, but she's still super sweet and a really good friend to Howleen. So when someone listed her prototype on eBay, I had to snatch her up because I knew I would really regret it if I didn't, and I do not regret it at all. She was about $100. So this is a hand-painted prototype Twyla. Some minor differences from the retail release. The shadows on her legs and hands are a little bit darker. All of her jewelry is hand-painted. Her skirt is an entirely different color tulle from the actual release, but her face, like, girl, the actual face on the retail doll looks like trash compared to this prototype. I would say she is probably the most valuable doll in my collection just because she's one of a kind. We're definitely gonna take her to my grave. I've also been finding Monster High dolls in store, so make sure to stay with me to the end of this video if you want to find out where I've been finding Monster High dolls today. I also have a bin. I feel like anybody who collects dolls has a bin full of dolls. These are all nude dolls. Some of them are dress dolls that are just extras that I had, or duplicates of dolls that might be missing limbs or clothing pieces that I've thrown into this bin. There is about 100 dolls in this bin alone, and I did promise y'all that I would count how many dolls I have. So after a long process of counting, I actually, now this kind of sounds crazy because I'm gonna say only, but I only have about 500 dolls. The specific number is 484. I'm probably missing a few because I have dolls in boxes over here that I'm not going to count. Like, I just do not feel like going through those boxes. So I have about 500 Monster High dolls, and at $20 each, that would be the equivalent of $9,000 something dollars. So it is crazy to think about how much money I spent on these dolls, but anyone who's a doll collector or a collector of any sort know that the feeling of collecting and having something that really resonates with you, that you have an affinity for, is priceless. I would gladly spend more money and will gladly spend more money on these dolls. Let me know down below how many dolls y'all have. If you counted how many dolls you have, I need to know. Does anybody have a bigger collection than me? I also have some repainted dolls by No Frilly Bit. No Frilly Bit is probably my favorite Monster High repainter. Up here, I have some inbox Monster High dolls. I have been trying to collect the variants of the dolls. So I have Zombie Shake, Venus, and Rochelle here in both their 2014 and 2013 release boxes. I have all of my 2-packs up here. So I have the Toys R Us exclusive Werecat twins and the Target exclusive Claudine and Howleen set, another one of my favorite sets. Over here, I have some of my Monster High reboot dolls out of the box. Fun fact, there is actually over 100 reboot Monster High dolls. I know that's kind of crazy because they were a big old flop, but I did actually like them a lot more than I might lead you to believe. Shriek Wrecked is my personal favorite reboot line, and there was a lot of detail put into Shriek Wrecked. I had some questions sent to me on Snapchat about my collection, and someone asked what the most recent doll I bought, and it is actually a reboot doll. So this is one of the budget Frankenstein dolls, and I got her for $10 at Walgreens. I also got the entire Ghoul Spirit collection aside from Slow-Mo from Ross. These were $5.99. So if you have a Ross near you, Monster High dolls are popping up in stores again. Here is where I display all of my makeup that I get sent in PR. So I have like a million lipsticks and foundations, but I have decided to get rid of a lot of my makeup so I can fit more dolls in here. Being half Chinese, Jennifer Long meant a lot to me when she came out. It was just really cool to see a character representing China specifically. I had to display her. Like I mentioned, I also collect some other dolls. So I collect Disney limited edition dolls. If y'all collect any other doll lines or want me to post about any other doll lines I collect, let me know because I'd love to do more videos on those. As always, don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Give this video a thumbs up and click subscribe. Thanks for watching. See ya!